It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? Oh, it's been shaking over here on this Do Time with Pastor Steph. We started off the week talking with the guys on our Relationship Monday. And we talked about the things that husbands no longer do when they're not attracted to their wives any longer. And we talked about the fact that they avoid conversations about the future. Well, the men contend, well, if we are not interested or attracted any longer, then what's there to talk about? There's no future. Oh, we talked about the fact that they stop initiating physical contact. Now, this one here, ooh, you know how men are. They always claim men are visual, and if they're not attracted to you, then how could there be any physical attraction? Even to the degree that a couple of them said that they have been with one woman and put the face of another woman. Leave it to the guys to talk about that. Okay. We also talked about the fact that women tend to not be attractive anymore when you're nagging them. Now, what are you gonna do? This nagging thing is a fine line for men, So I don't know. These men really had, and our men are vocal, so they are really going to talk about some things, size and your nagging and how you go to bed, and they got the spiritual thing in there, the fact that they're not supposed to separate because this marriage. We're not talking about girlfriend and boyfriend. So they did get there. Well, the switch tip of the week, let go of the complaints, always falls right in line with what we're talking about in our main topic. And, we have to be really careful about the things that we do talk about versus the things we complain about. Because some of the things I've come to find out that God has actually orchestrated. So whether it's his permissive will, where he just allows things to happen, and it falls into his will of his sovereign part, then you may not want to complain. Go to God, figure out what's going on. He will clue you in. Yes, you are not always in the dark as to what God is doing. He will let you in on some of those secrets, okay? All righty. Well, let's talk about it. Tuesday rolled around, and we didn't get too much church folk because we were talking about this girl driving after being accused of shoplifting and challenging the officers as to whether they were going to shoot her or not. And after she kept her vehicle going, hitting the cop gently, well, he did shoot her, and it took her life as well as her unborn child. You're going to have to go back to Tuesday because I don't know if we ever recap that one, because baby, that was an entire conversation for the whole morning. You want to check that one out. So Wow, Wednesday rolled around, and we got to talking with our girlfriend Vivian in our socially conscious segment. And those of you who want to take out a federal student loan, well, things may be shifting for you as of July of 2026. Yep, because now they are changing the classification of what professional careers are and what professional careers aren't. And they're basing that on the amount of money that you are going to be allowed to borrow. Yes. So now they are considering dentistry, medicine, veterinarianism, I'm going to say it like that, theology, law, pharmacy, to be those professional careers where you're going to be able to get a higher level of a student loan. Education, architecture, social work, nursing, therapy, occupational therapy included in that, public health, art, and engineering are no longer going to be considered professional careers. So therefore, they are going to not loan you as much as they used to. So I don't know if that's going to help shift what you are going to be going to school for, but it's something to take into consideration. Well, Therapeutic Thursday rolled around and we got to talking about that Georgia Parent Accountability Act. Yep, they are going to start holding, well, they're trying to pass the law. Let's put it like that. They're trying to pass the law where they will hold parents accountable for their children's behavior. Yes, if you're cutting up, you may have to pay a penalty. Now, we don't know if that's going to be fines. We don't know if that's the financial fines. We don't know if that's going to be jail time. We don't know. Brother Al says, let them sit up in class with them. We don't know where they're going with this, but they are trying their hardest to push this law. And I got to say, I'm with it. I'm with it. You know, a lot of these parents out here are not doing their due diligence. So yes, they need to be held accountable for what their children do. So that's how we spent our week. Well, today is Freestyle Friday, and we get to do whatever it is we want to do. Well, Talk to the Men is what we do along with some entertainment news. So I got a couple things you might be interested in. So let's get this party started. Let's go get that healthy breakfast. Go tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's due time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
How to get healthy without trying. Stop eating before you go to sleep. If you eat before you sleep, your body's not going to rest. So a lot of things aren't going to recover, which causes unnecessary stress on your body that you don't need. Start sleeping on your left side. Sleeping on your right side is the easy way to get morning sickness, indigestion, heartburn, all that shit. Through your food 32 times. It doesn't exactly have to be 32, but it needs to be more than 4 times. Saliva, it has enzymes in it that help you break down food. But not chewing your food is going to make you miss out on certain minerals because your body can't break down what you was eating. Don't eat and drink at the same time. Eat first and then drink after. When you eat and drink, you wash all the minerals and nutrients that you could be getting away. And it also dilutes your stomach acid, which also has
Good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. And it is Freestyle Friday. We made it, y'all. It is the last day of the work week. We have made it. We have hit our weekend by the grace of God. He has included us in the week once again. And we're going to say good morning to all of our loyal viewers. So if you're in the room, make sure you say good morning to Pastor Steph, because other than that, I don't know you're in the room. All right. So let's say good morning to our boy Serge. Looked like he was struggling with that good morning this morning. Good morning, Serge. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. We got a check-in from our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got a check-in from our girl, Viv. Hey, Viv. What's going on, girl? Thank you so much for joining us. Miss you in the conversations. We got a check-in from our girl, Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have got to say good morning to the ladies that hold it down each and every day, and make sure you say good morning to us and we say good morning to you. Let's say hello to Shantice. Hey, Shantice, thank you so much for joining us. And last but definitely not least, we're going to say good morning to our girl, Anika, who lays back in the cut and always make sure we are up and running. Well, Miss Grace, if you're out there, we're going to give you a hearty good morning as well. And if you check in and you say good morning, I will definitely say good morning to you. So, like I said, you know this is Celebrity Friday. And you listen, lawsuits have been skyrocketing when it comes to our entertainers. So I stumbled across a list of people in our entertainment area who have been riddled by lawsuits in this year alone. So let's see who comes up on our radar. Well, Usher is the first one that comes up on our radar. They say in 2025, November, Usher filed a lawsuit against several business associates, including his longtime friend and music producer, Brian Michael Cox. Now, you've heard of Brian Michael Cox. He's one that he's like in the cut, but he's definitely out there. Now, there's a lawsuit over a loan for a restaurant that never actually opened. Now, back in 2024, Brian, along with a couple of others, asked Usher to invest in this restaurant out in ATL. And months later, there was still no restaurant. And Usher was asking for his money back. He eventually received $1 million, but remained short $700,000. Yo, you can imagine that must have been annoying. Yeah, you put out $1.7 million. You got to go fight for your money, and then, you still don't get it all back. Well, I guess maybe they're still in litigation, or maybe he has to cough up that 0.7 part. But we'll see if we hear anything else about it. I don't remember if I said good morning to Miss Grace, but good morning, Miss Grace. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Mary J. Blige is another one on the lawsuit radar. Her attorney, Lisa Moore, claims that there's a lawsuit that is involving all of them for the sole purpose of harassing and causing malicious injury to her client while calling claims of patently frivolous. A 30-year friendship has ended after Ms. Hilton filed a $5 million lawsuit against Mary J. Blige, alleging that there was a breach of contract over signing of rapper, who's this, Vado? I don't know. I never heard of him before. But they say Mary J. Blige is not only pushing for dismissal, but will also drop her own countersuit. Yeah, because these things get to be pretty expensive. Yeah. We got a check-in from our girl, Akusa. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You know, now that everywhere you turn is a, what do you call that thing? A lawsuit. We're talking about all the lawsuits that have jumped off in 2025. Hey there, Debbie girl, long time no see. Thank you for joining us this morning. Megan Thee Stallion, who y'all know is now booed up, as they say, coupled up with Klay Thompson. Yes, the other half of the dream team from the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, they really been out there. But I don't know how long that's going to last. But it claims that he just got finished naming a boat after her. But anyway, Megan Thee Stallion filed a defamation lawsuit against Milagro Grams, who harassed and defamed her after being shot 5 times by R&B musician Tory Lanez. Now, this is something that's been on the radar for a minute now. So they say Megan was initially awarded $75,000 by the jury, but the U.S. District Court reduced the award to $59,000. $59,000. And the jury found that Milagro Cooper, also known as Milagro Grimes, encouraged thousands of followers on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter, X, to view a sexually explicit deep fake video of Megan Thee. All right. Let's see who else. Drake, they say, initially filed his lawsuit against UMG in January of 25, accusing the music giant of knowingly defaming him. His client centers on Kendrick Lamar's hit diss track, Not Like Us. And he's been talking about, he's a child predator. We all heard that part. So we'll see what happens with that one, if it ever goes away. Sometimes these things just don't seem to leave us. Trey Songz, the singer, is attempting to overturn an $11 million default judgment in a battery lawsuit filed by a Terrell Dunn, who is a LA police officer. All right. Now, they had some incident back in 2021, and the lawsuit says that the police officer's wife was escorted to Trey Songz's hotel room at the Cosmopolitan, where she was assaulted, and she attempted to leave and had her phone confiscated. Dunn claims that he heard his wife's cries for help and was physically attacked by Songz when he tried to intervene. Y'all know that story don't even sound right. That story, what is that? So she was lured or escorted to Trey Songz's hotel room, but you overheard the screams. Yo, go away. Go away. Go away. Nelly is up on this radar. They say, according to court documents, the judge ordered that attorney Precious Felder Gates cover Nelly's legal fees after pursuing what the judge called a frivolous and time-barred case on behalf of Ali Jones, better known as Ali of the St. Lunatics. Ali filed the lawsuit claiming Nelly cut his crew out of royalties and credits from the rapper's legendary 2000 album, Country Grammar, and the record that catapulted Nelly to stardom, Ride With Me, E.I., and Hot in Here. A judge ruled that his former St. Lunatics bandmates' lawsuit was completely without merit, and the attorney needed to pay up the money. Okay. Let's see if anybody else. Well, we all know what happened with Diddy. Time again. We got a check-in from our girl, Tamika. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Serge says Drake is a child predator He goes after young girls. Okay. Let's see if any of these other things want to pique our interest. Sexy Red was facing a lawsuit after allegedly encouraging her social media followers to attack Nicole Barnes, who is the paternal grandmother of one of her children. Boy. Salt and Pepper filed the lawsuit. We talked about this one earlier this year against UMG, claiming that the label violated copyright laws and did not give the rights back to the group. Yeah, we talked about that one. Russell Simmons launched a lawsuit against HBO for $20 million over the release of 2020 documentary On the Record, which detailed a number of his sexual assault allegations. Now, this seems to be the thing these days because Netflix and I think it was Hulu and another one of those channels, they were also facing a lawsuit against releasing like one of those what do you call those things? Why am I losing my documentaries about about these entertainers? I don't know. All I know is they need to make sure that their sources are accurate, because these people are coming back when they're making these allegations and these lawsuits. So those are some of the lawsuits that hit the airwaves this year. Now, speaking of lawsuits, we got one from, we're into our news now. So let's see. Let's see. Vivian says Serge better chill before Drake sues him. Yeah, I told you everybody's suing everybody. Akusa says Simmons is the king of Predator. I agree, Serge, about Drake, but don't forget Trey Songz is another R. Kelly. Yeah, they are really loading up on these entertainers and these lawsuits. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith is now, and that's all I kept looking at. That's all I kept looking at. All I kept looking at when I was doing the news. This is all over the news. So supposedly there's a lawsuit from a Bilal Salam, who is also known as Brother Bilal, and he describes himself as Will Smith's best friend for nearly 40 years. Now, he says he also worked closely with him on several personal projects, and he is included in some photos of him and Will in Will's memoir called Will. Now, he's filing a lawsuit against Jada because he says that she confronted him in Calabasas back in September of 21 while he was attending some party for Will, and says that she was accompanied by about 7 of her entourage members, and told him that if he continued to tell her business, he would end up missing or catching a bullet. Now, let me keep my comment. Let me hold on to my comments until afterwards. He also says that she tried to make him sign a non-disclosure agreement known as the NDA or else. And he refused to sign, and they followed him out to his car while they continued to throw these verbal threats. 6 months later, in March of 22, He claimed he refused a request from a mutual friend to assist with crisis management after Will smacked Chris Rock. And he said that he wasn't going to get involved in that either. And now he's taking her to court, suing her. And he says that they're mad because he's telling personal things that he feels he's not telling. He's not running some smear campaign. They are actually running a smear campaign against him. And he wants some money. Now, here's my thing. This happened in 2021. They say that he just filed this lawsuit. Here we go again. The stuff happens years earlier. Now, not as long ago as what do you call it? Not as long as, like the 30-year thing. But if this happened to me in 2021, why am I in 2025 finally filing a lawsuit? If you threatened me in 21, I managed to live till 25. Shut up. Or file the lawsuit closely to when the incident happened. I don't know. You know what? If they made money for all of these lawsuits that hit the courtroom, child. Terrence always says that, they're looking for money. They always do this stuff because they're searching for money. My thing is, all they got to do is rack up all the dollars that they can from these people who are always filing these lawsuits, because they would make a whole lot of money. Let's see what else is going on in the news. Today we're talking about our people who we like to see in the entertainment area. All right, so for those of you who love or hate Ray J, he is definitely in the news these days because they say he was taken into custody the morning of Thanksgiving. Yeah, they say that he somehow or another must have started a live stream. And as soon as the live stream got started, he was heard ramping and raging in his house with Princess Love, which is his estranged wife, threatening to kill a man that was in the house. And they said that they don't know whether he caught that it was on live stream or not, but he kept going. Now, they say that the cops eventually showed up at around 4 o'clock that morning, and they arrested him because he was literally threatening to kill somebody. So, yeah, he might be out of jail by now, but yeah, you doing your business on a live stream? Okay, dummy. Well, they then have that Mr. Ray J is upset and ranting and raving in the news about how he's upset with what's the couple? Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they are supposedly going to this The Boy Is Mine tour on a regular basis. And they are not paying Brandy any attention. All of the attention is going to Monica. And they say that he's claiming that they have had times of walking straight past Brandy's room and not acknowledging her at all. And they are dissing her. Who still uses that word? Well, they are also claiming that this is now on Brandy's social media site. her page. And Brandy has since gotten on and said, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't know. She didn't claim he hacked it, but she claims it was hacked. Nothing to do with it. I'm good with the Beyonce and Jay-Z couple. So pretty much she's leaving her brother out there on his own. And they say it wouldn't be the first time that he did something like this, and she's just covering up his indiscretions. All right, what else are we talking about in this news? Well, just as a little side piece of information, let me see. Do you know that Rick Fox is Canadian? Now, the only reason why this is coming up, Rick Fox, basketball player, the Lakers. Yes, him, cutie pie, my gosh. Well, he is actually going to go for a, what do you call it? He's going to run for some type of general election in the Bahamas. Now, he is part Canadian, part Bahamian. His mother is Canadian and his father is Bahamian. And he is making an announcement now that he's going to run for some general election over in the Bahamas. Now, we don't know, maybe he'll get that little seat because he is somebody over here. And that's what they kind of do, over in these other countries. It's been known a couple of times that they have actually done that with the actors and entertainers and people like that because they want the notoriety. So maybe Rick Fox will definitely, do something. Maybe he'll become something over there. But I didn't know that he was Canadian and Bahamian. No, not at all. I think he was mixed with something. All right. Serge says Drake had better be ready for a counter lawsuit from me for what he's actually doing after the girls and causing emotional distress to him. You know what, Serge? Find a better way to make your money. All right. Tamika says Ray just wants to keep his name current. Please take a seat. It's so true. It is so true. He is so tired. But any recognition and notice is better than none. Really, he is so whack and corny. For real. For real, for real, for real. Let's see what else we got to talk about. All right, so now I don't know how many of you know this, how many of you even care, but we're always talking about plastic surgery and who done messed up their face. Well, they claim that Dwayne Martin, the ex to Tisha Campbell, has gotten some type of plastic surgery and has really made himself look good. So he's 60 years old, and they say with the face augmentation, so he's got his eyes underneath his eyes done and stuff like that, he now looks like he's in his 40s. So I don't know. I don't know if that's true, if it's false, if any of us care. But I just thought I'd share that with you, since they were always talking about who's messed up their faces. Always the women who they're talking about. They never talk much about the men. So we'll see if that's true the next time I look at his face on something. They say he just got engaged and he's announcing some wedding. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All righty. So let's see if we got another story to talk about. So off the celebrity news onto regular news. This was really, really weird. So you have out in India this woman who's an aunt, who they have now found that she has been charged with murder. Why? Because she allegedly, as they always say, drowned her 6-year-old niece during a wedding celebration. Why? Because she said the child looked prettier than she did. Well, here's the kicker. That was her paternal niece. And when they did some digging, come to find out that that little girl, who I believe was 7 or 9 years old, somewhere in there, well, she was not the only one she murdered. That she's been doing this for quite some time. Yeah. That in actuality, that this particular woman has been murdering for quite some time. She's accused of murdering 2 other children. 2 others. And one, again, a family member. And again, because she felt that they were prettier than she was. So I don't know, y'all. This cosmetic surgery thing and this one looking prettier than me, this is going a little too far. Really a little too far. Yeah. They said not only did she kill a young girl back in 2023, which was her daughter, was her sister-in-law's daughter, because she looked better than her. She was also accused of killing somebody else, somebody's son, to avoid suspicion. So that's what we're contending with today. All of this stuff going on with how you look and lawsuit after lawsuit, and this is like annoying because this is what our news is filled with. So Tamika says, please understand that when you do plastic surgery, you have to keep it up. You just open the doorway to a brand new world. And Teresa says, Brandy and Tony Braxton have so much to talk about. Their siblings are a mess. Yeah, this is constantly in our face. So we got our men on, and I don't even know what we're going to talk about today before I introduce a new story, because this is crazy. All right, let's say good morning to our men. Let's say good morning to our brother Al. Good morning, brother Al.
Top of the morning, top of the Friday morning. How you doing, Pastor Steph?
I am well, thank you, brother Al. You know, this celebrity news stuff is crazy. We've got a story about Jada Pinkett, who supposedly has threatened Will Smith's best friend and intimidated him to stop talking about her in the news, so that I guess their personal business is their personal business. That's his allegation. Now, this happened back in 2021. Now, listen, don't tell me, none of y'all all in the room, do not tell me, oh, he has the right to file when he wants to. I already know that. My question is, how long are the courts going to continue to have these lawsuits that are brought up years later? So the question ultimately is, should there be a statute of limitation on these lawsuits? Now, this particular lawsuit only claims that she has physically threatened him. She said, let me get the quote together. He claims that she said to him, stop telling my business, or you're going to end up missing, or you're going to catch a bullet. Now, somebody threatened your life, brother Al. Are you holding on to this for 4 years? Or are you telling this story right away to the courtroom?
I'm telling the story right away. Why I go hold it all these years? You know, the people. First of all, he better chill out from Will smack him. That's number one.
Oh God.
But these people, I mean, it's crazy. I've been saying this for longer. Okay, when she first said it to you, whatever. Of course, I've been threatened. Let me go file a police report right now. So just in case something go down, I have to protect myself. I did tell somebody. But, you know, again, people look out. Oh, it's 20 years later. Well, you know, I just remember. I guess that she gonna stop. Let me go and bring this out. It's crazy. There shouldn't be a statute limit on this nonsense.
I agree with you, Brother Al. I agree with you to the fullest. Let's do something a little different today. Let's bring Pastor KL on.
Don't forget the L.
Good morning, Pastor KL.
With some respect to my name, I need that L.
Oh my goodness gracious. I was so excited I forgot the extra part of your name. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How you guys doing?
Good.
Everything's everything.
All right, thank you. So the question today is, you know, there's this lawsuit out by somebody who claims to be Will Smith's long time best friend, who claims that Jada approached him with her entourage and threatened if he don't stop telling her business that he's gonna end up missing or catch a bullet. And this just showed up in the courtroom. Should there be a statute of limitation on these accusations?
Well, let me just say this. In the last few years, I've been so disappointed in Jada. When Jada was in Set It Off, she was my celebrity crush. I love Jada. But now, I'm so disappointed in her. She got people slapping for no reason. You know, listen, if you tell me you're going to kill me or come up missing, yeah, I'm going to the cops. But you know what? You look at it the other way. You know, back in my days, we used to tell people they're going to come up missing all the time. And that was just something that somebody said. You know what I mean? We didn't think we were going to come up missing. You know, you're going to catch a bullet. Okay, well, I'll hold the bullet until you're ready. You know, but now these days, somebody tell you that, yeah, I'm going straight to the cops. I don't know whether it's a joke or whether it's real.
Right.
I wouldn't wait until 4 years after I didn't catch the bullet.
Right. Because my thought would be, I might catch that bullet for real right now.
Right.
So you held it all this time. Well, what are you waiting for? All righty. Let's say good morning to our Pastor Jeff. Good morning, Pastor Jeff.
How are you? All right.
How are you?
Good.
You ain't moving. You ain't on that treadmill.
I'm bike.
You're going in and out.
He's out of breath.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Put it in.
Yes. We can hear you now.
How is it that you put on glasses and now we can hear you? What's going on with that?
I don't know.
You must got them AI glasses.
I was wondering the same thing. Why did when he put the glasses on and got closer, we could hear him? What was that? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh my gosh. All right, Pastor Jeff. You know, we've got these lawsuits going all over the place. You've got this lawsuit, Jada, against this longtime friend of Will's against Jada Pinkett for threatening him. Would you hold on to this threat and this lawsuit for 4 years?
Well, judging the times now, if somebody threatened with a gun, I'm gonna tell right away now because people are crazy. I mean, folks just lost their mind, and and you got to be crazy to make a threat like that nowadays. So I'm gonna tell right away. I ain't gonna wait 4 years. So it wouldn't be me.
Me either, Pastor Jeff. I ain't holding on to nothing. Shanti says, what business of hers did he supposedly tell others about? Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, because I'm like, anything that's ever hit the air has never come supposedly from him. It's always some other source. So what are you talking about? Which might be why it's been 4 years since ain't nobody heard nothing about this. All right.
They put their business out there anyway, so what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
They put their own business out.
Well, first of all, who is this guy? I didn't even know. I've never even heard of him. So you can't be but so big, because I haven't heard of you at all. And all, like you said, all of their indiscretions in business, they put that out there themselves. So what in the world are they talking about? Let's talk to Brother Ainsley before we get to our other news.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Good. I'm all right. Thank you. I'm all right. Are you holding on to this lawsuit, Brother Ainsley?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really can't say definitely because like back in the day, we used to say they giving out wolf tickets. You say it, but it's like, yeah, right. I ain't taking it that seriously. So maybe I don't know what may have prompted the person to say, oh, wait a minute, she might be serious this time. Let me go, protect myself and stuff like that. So it may be, what was said later on. Maybe something Will told him and made him think like, wait a minute, let me go protect myself,
So Will could have told him something about Jada?
Yeah. I mean, if the threat was, to me, I think if the threat was really real from the very beginning, I think you go to the cops from the very beginning.
Right. Which is what makes this questionable, because he claims that when he was at this party for Will Smith. Now the party is for Will. You attend the party for your longtime friend.
All right.
This is the time when Jada and her entourage approaches you. Now, of all times, they're gonna approach you during the party. Okay, so they approach you during the party, and then you hold on to this for 4 years. They tried to make you sign an NDA. What, an NDA for what? There's no agreement on anything. A personal business, you can't get nobody to sign an NDA on if we're friends. NDA is more for business. So who knows? You always got
motivation is money.
What happened?
I said the motivation is money.
Yes, which makes a lot of these lawsuits questionable, because later on you hear years down the line that these people are suing. Most times they're suing, it's the money that they're after.
That's true. Well, for NDA, it's like, I mean, what furthermore could anybody say about Jada and Will Smith that'll make us shocked and go,
right.
Oh my God. I mean, you already admit that you be having, you have an affair with your child's friend, your red table child. Y'all put all your business out there. What more can we be surprised about now? How bad could it really get? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Right. Because like we said, most times their stuff is put out there themselves.
Exactly.
So how much of a threat could you be? Now they claim that this friend is the one who claims, we've heard this rumor that somebody walked in on Will and Dwayne Martin, but he was the one who walked in on Dwayne and Will. So how this still ends up being Will's friend if he walked in? Bye. Bye. If Will ain't got rid of him as a friend, now I'm gonna ruin our friendship with a lawsuit against your wife. Yo, you out of control. Straight out of control. All righty. I got a couple of topics here for you men. So we know that Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani here in New York City, he is about to take his seat come January 1st. And one of his topics is, homelessness. So he claims that he's going to stop the clearing of the homeless encampments that Adams started. Now, the problem is Adams put out that, he was clearing up all of the homeless encampments, which we heard. We talked about it at one point back in 2022. He supposedly did that. Now, the downside to him clearing out the homeless encampments is he never put these people in permanent housing. And that was his claim. I'm going to clear out the encampments. I'm going to put people in permanent housing. So now Mamdani says, I'm going to put this to an end. We're not clearing out these encampments, but what are they going to do about the homeless, which is not what he's talking about. His biggest stance was he's going to fight the homelessness. Now, the other issue is they are negating the fact that it's the residents of New York City who are complaining about the encampments, because the encampments have gone up in all kinds of locations. So that's one of the reasons why Adams was clearing it out, because the people were complaining, but he didn't do anything about it. Now here comes Mamdani. I'm going to put a hold on that. But then what do you do with the people of New York City? Brother Al, I'm starting with you.
I'm confused on that with him, and because my thing is, okay, you're saying I'm gonna do this. What are you gonna do? What are you actually going to do? People complaining, but these people are homeless. They're on the street. They got nowhere to go. So they found a place where, okay, we can use this place, and they put the people in there. So I'm just waiting to see what exactly are you going to do, bro.
Well, so I'm kind of hearing something, but I want to make sure I understand it correctly. So the people of New York City are complaining. Should they build camps that are in, or allow, let's say, areas? Because that's the one thing they have not done, from what I know. They have not said, okay, listen, we're wiping out the encampments here, but we're going to allow you to go over in Yankee Stadium and if you want to set up camp, they go over there. No, they've been popping up all over the place, which is the ultimate problem.
Right.
So I just want to make sure, are you saying that the people shouldn't be complaining, the residents shouldn't be complaining? I'm a little confused.
Well, what they should do is, like what you said, find a specific area instead of just put it in anywhere. Find a specific area. Okay, we're going to use this area here and put the people. I don't think this should just be popping up all over the place, and and things like that. Because where they're gonna pop up at and where they're not gonna pop up. They're not gonna go to the other folks. You know what I'm saying? So they should have one area. We're gonna use this area here and take care of these people.
All righty. Pastor Jeff. Is Pastor Jeff in the room?
I should be.
All right. All right.
Put your glasses on.
We lost you for a second, so I know if you were back. So, Pastor Jeff, what say you? Adam said I'm wiping him out, and he did, but he did not place the homeless people in permanent housing. Here you've got Mamdani. And wait, go back a little bit. Hold on, Pastor Jeff. Brother Al, when we talked about it, had you voted for Mamdani, or did you vote for Cuomo or Sliwa?
I voted for Sliwa. I didn't vote for neither one of them.
Okay. All righty. All right. Pastor Jeff, if you care to tell us who you voted for. But now Mom Donnie is getting ready to take this seat, and he's like, hey, I want to put a hold on this wiping out of these encampments, but the residents are complaining. Do you want to share who you voted for?
Cuomo.
Okay.
Madame wasn't gonna get my vote.
Okay.
Sleeper would never get it. You know?
Okay.
But okay.
No. Go ahead.
No, as far as that is a problem that the greatest minds won't be able to figure out what to do with all the homeless people, you know. But Madame talk about he for the people. His backside need to come on in and figure out something. But you can't let him just pop up all over the place, because I know if I have a business, you know, and at a certain level, I don't want all that in front of my business looking tacky. You know, I hate when people come to the city, you know, and New York looks like that, you know. You know, when I go to Cali and I see all them homeless embankments, it's just terrible. So we should figure out what to do with them. And Madame, he needs to focus on that.
Well, he claims, that was one of his focuses when he was running. He was going to deal with the homelessness. So I guess this is one of the reasons why he's speaking up now about it, and we'll see what he does with it. All right, Brother Ainsley, what say you?
Yeah, I did vote for Mondani.
Okay.
I did vote for him. But I agree, though, it's always been an ongoing problem with the homeless. You know, it seemed like it's been increasingly, you see these encampments all over the place. I remember last time I was around the way, you know, I started seeing encampments up around the Van Wyck Expressway. Like it's around this homeless. It's all over. It's all over the cities. You know, it's in LA. I've seen in Atlanta. It's terrible. It's, you know, it's like it's like you think like an army base where you see all these little, you know, they call it tents and all things going on and whatnot. And it's like, is that a little city over here with all these tents and whatnot? So it's definitely an ongoing problem. However, it is a balancing act, because like if I have a business, I don't want to look out my house and see a homeless encampment either. You know what I'm saying? You know, for safety reasons, property value reasons and stuff like that. And you don't want that to be a problem, because the resources are going to take, there's always going to be a price for something, and it's going to be on the taxpayers and whatnot. So you got to appease taxpayers as well. So it's like, yeah, all right, but I don't know what the plan is. His plan is for the homeless, you know, addressing the homelessness. But I did vote for him. Yeah. But I thought reason is I thought it was time for a change. You know, to me, Saliba was not it. Cuomo, I think his time was done. I think it's for him. It's going backwards. You know, I'm saying going from mayor to governor, but to go from governor to mayor, it's a step backwards. You know, there's other reason why I did vote for him, Mamdani. But for the homeless, you know, I don't know what the plan is for that.
Okay. All right. Pastor KL, you know, this homelessness, what does it look like in Alabama?
First of all, let me say I didn't vote for either one of them. I didn't vote for either one. So. Just want to make that clear. It wasn't because of me.
Thank you for clearing that up for us.
But yeah, I mean, even here in Alabama, it's rough. It's rough. We have and all of you are familiar with Kmart. We had a Kmart, you know, closed some time ago, but the building's still erected. So everybody got camps behind Kmart. So I mean, I know how big Kmart is. So just to think that behind Kmart, there's a whole city back there. There's a whole city.
Wow.
I think, you know, until you can remedy what we're going to do with the people, you can't fix where they're going. You can't fix it. Listen, it's going to take whatever this guy's name is a whole term to figure out this homeless thing. You're not doing this your first year, your second year. You have no place for them to go. So that's the big issue. Until you can find out where we placing them, and then the sad thing about it, a lot of them are war veterans. You know what I mean? They're vets.
Right.
And how is it that they can fight for your country, but when they get out, they become garbage? So where is the thank you for your service? Now I get no service.
Right. Well, one of the things that they have addressed, the veterans now do have preferential housing placement. They have to go through the normal channels of getting housing, but they do have preferential housing. Within these last few years, they have started that. So that's a plus. For those who are mentally ill, for those who prefer to be homeless, because we do have some who don't want, to be homeless, who don't want housing, who have opted in. That's probably due to some mental illness, because I can't imagine me being of right mind, of sound mind, but yet I'm gonna tell you I want to be homeless. Something is wrong. But they have these encampments and they're going up all over the place and you're wiping them out. Now, here's my question to you all. And I think I started asking Brother Al, he mentioned it, but do we actually do what they've done in Alabama on their own behind the Kmart? I'm sure they didn't put up a sign, but that's what they ended up doing on their own. Do you allow an encampment site? So if you're homeless and if you wanna, put your tent up, put it up here. Should that be allowed? Is that going to temporarily answer the question? Brother Al, you said yes. Are you standing on that one?
As far as the homeless people making their own camp, you saying?
As far as the government, let's say Mom Donnie, he comes and he says, listen, I'm wiping out, I'm going to stop from wiping out the encampments. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in Queens is here, Bronx is here, Staten Island is here, Brooklyn is here. Should that be done? Would that be a safe method?
I'm like, yes and no. I think it would have to be someone had to be there and overlook it, because it's going to be an issue. So again, you just say, I'm in Brooklyn, you got this space over here. You said this is a designated space, and and somebody come and somebody got somebody tent too close to this person's tent, or this person said, yo, this space is for somebody else. Now a fight gonna break out. So I think they need to have it monitored. Don't just say, okay, this is a spot over here, do what y'all do. And there's a mad rush. Okay, I want to be in Brooklyn, I'm gonna put my tent up over here. And I think it definitely should be something that's monitored. Okay. Have the areas, but have it monitored.
Okay. So now this is gonna take money to get it done, because you can't monitor it for nothing. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, spend the money. You're gonna spend on other nonsense. You're gonna spend money trying to get a place for them anyway. So let's do it and do it right.
All righty. Pastor Jeff, if this were your remedy, if somebody came and said, Pastor Jeff, it's all yours, what do you say we do with it? You got to come up with something, but we'll go with whatever you say. Do you say put up encampment sites that's designated by the city to get to house these people, or do you come up with another answer?
Well, that okay to go to the encampment.
Wait. What'd you do?
You break it up.
Put on the other glasses.
Telling them that they can go to a designated place is not going to work because it'll be nothing but lawsuits. Because first of all, this New York City, and it's cold out there in the winter, and then you gave them permission to go here, and then they'll be popping up dead like icicles under those boxes, and all kind of things. The city would get so many lawsuits because you gave them permission to go there. So you can't do that. All right. What you need to do is take the money and build locations to house these people, and then take them out of their boxes and put them in these places, because anything else is going, somebody get raped in those encampments. You gave permission to go there. City gonna get sued for it,
Okay. Wow, something to think about. Okay. Now taking into consideration, Pastor Jeff, that there's a transitional period. So while we're building these houses that are not going to be built in 2 days, how do we get this done? What do you do in the interim with these encampments?
Leave them. They can build in a couple of months. Trust me, if they wanted to. All right, don't take long to build, but you leave them if you are building something.
Okay. All righty. Now, do we just take them and throw them in the buildings? Or while we're building, we got some transitional paperwork and
I think
all of that stuff going on?
I think we need to set up a system, because you got to get them screened. You got to separate the mentally ill, all of that. So, it's a whole lot. It's a whole process, bringing them in.
Right. All righty. What say you, Brother Ainsley? How do you get this done? Do you set up a site? So you got split. You got Brother Allen says, hey, go ahead and do it, but monitor it. Pastor Jeff says, oh, absolutely not, because now you got lawsuits and other activity going on. Because I would like to think it's going to be a drug den as well. Now you've opened up drugs and sexual, all kinds of stuff going on there. Exactly. What say you? How do you get this taken care of?
Well, I see a hybrid of both. Really, I just looked it up. First of all, it said organized homelessness encampments are illegal in New York City. Organized. So I guess if one person happens to pop up, all right, that's one thing. But when it starts being to a growing city, I agree with another. You living next to me, so forth and so on. It becomes a problem,
Okay.
And then where are they at? Because technically, I already know that you can't just prop up your tent on the middle of a public sidewalk. You're really not supposed to do it. That's a public space. You just can't just I'm going to live right here. No,
right.
It's going to happen like that.
Right.
So where you go makes a difference. And even though there's a right to shelter, like you said, a lot of people just don't want to go through the shelter, because the whole shelter system, because it's dangerous. A whole lot of things go on there. It's not ideal, obviously, but there is something in place. Now, what I think they ought to do is, do better with available housing. I think there's a lot more that could be done. Finding areas that's been neglectful and whatnot. Look, who says that you always got to have people have these massive, first of all, you see apartments in New York now, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's
right.
Like a room now, they want like $3,000 a month and stuff like that. I would say, look, you got a decent area. Look, these tiny homes, so to speak, I think there's a lot that could be done and could be explored. I think when it comes to homelessness, because we're really talking about those who really don't have a voice, our priority, the city's priority, is really not there. The government people do what they really want to do. You know what I'm saying? There is money available There's things you want to do, but the thing is it a priority? You know, I've seen too much in the city government wherein it was like, oh, we ain't got money for that. Oh, we ain't got money for that. But yet you see hundreds of millions of dollars being on waste going, you know, in different things. So to me, it becomes a real priority. You know, if you really want to address it, you can address it.
Right.
You really want to do it.
Right.
But the matter of fact that he's going to somebody really trying to address it, I mean, it is a step in the right direction, and making it a priority is a step in the right direction. You know, so.
Well, you didn't answer the first part of the question.
I'll go ahead.
Put the glasses on.
You told us the legal side of it, which we appreciate. Thank you for giving us an official.
All right, so what's the question again? All right, make sure I answer it more specifically.
Okay, so my question is, what do you do in the interim? You're saying that it's not legal to put up camps in New York City. So we in and of ourselves can't start a camp. Like what you said, like Pastor Kale said, is happening behind the Kmart. However, what do you do in the interim period of like you said, if they want to make this a priority, they absolutely could have a long time ago. Because somebody said about erecting a building, Pastor Jeff, listen, you don't need to build, fix.
Yeah,
New York City is filled with fixable property. So so Pastor Jeff said, hey, it only takes a couple of months to erect. No, it takes 5 minutes to fix up what you got already. Just fix these things and let them work 24 hours a day. So you're really failing on this job here. So what do you do in the interim of fixing up or building?
You do both. You do both. But if you really, if to me, if you really want to do it, I'll say you do both. I'll say you don't to put a measuring stick. You know, I would say this maybe you won't allow any more encampment. But you have them to measure like how many opening housing are you going to provide? Hypothetically, say, all right, I don't know what the exact numbers is, but say you got 100,000 homelessness or whatnot. In the next 3 months, I want to have at least 25,000 available places for them to go to. We're not going to allow no more encampments or whatnot. We're going to put our goal is 25,000 every quarter.
Okay.
A measuring goal. Make it measurable. We can say, oh, we did this. I know Eric Adams say, oh yeah, we provide a lot of homeless and whatnot. Yeah, but I think we need actual numbers, real numbers, facts and whatnot. So I would say a definite number to it. Something you can measure and say, okay, this is getting better. If it's getting worse, why? Are people coming from out of state and bringing up the numbers? Or are these real New Yorkers? Where are they coming from?
Okay. Pastor KL, you got the situation brewing in Alabama. How do you handle this?
Well, first I want to say that I don't think that directing people to a certain area for encampment is a solution. Because as in Alabama, you set it and forget it. Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? So once they're no longer in your face, they don't pose a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So, we say, okay, y'all all come here. It's like, listen, put all the black folks in the projects. You know what I'm saying? That it is what it is. And that's not the solution. So that's a big problem. Here in Alabama, we don't have dilapidated buildings and stuff like that. Our people here, when they see that your house looks like it's no good, they give you like 60 days to fix it. Otherwise, they tear it down. So we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury like New Yorkers who can have buildings just sitting there forever. I'm in agreement with you, Pastor. You got all these buildings, then fix it. In Alabama, the only buildings that are here is the court buildings or office buildings. There's no buildings for residents.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So everybody's either in the project, which are little townhouses. You know, they're not buildings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're gated property, and if it looks like it's going the wrong way, they knock it down. They you don't even have a right. You go to court one day and they tell you, okay, you got 60 days, and in 60 days, if it don't look no better, they knock it down. So you just lost the
Oh,
house. So or your property, so to speak. So there's no place to really put these people unless, as everybody's saying, you build. But just by saying, okay, you gotta go to the West Wing and stay over there, nah, they're gonna set it and forget it. They're not gonna think about you no more until somebody kills somebody, or until somebody finds somebody dead. You know, there has to
right.
be an issue in order to revisit it.
Okay. All right. My vote says, listen, I don't say set up an encampment site intentionally, because again, you open up your you open up the field to so many different things. It is what it is for now. But again, you 24 hours a day, you've got people who are qualified, capable, willing, and able to work 24 hours a day to fix this problem. Put the money up. Put the money up. The city has the money. The city has the material. Put these contracts out there. Encourage these people who have these construction companies and all kinds of things to get this done, and start instantaneously vetting these people, like Pastor KL. I'm sorry. Pastor Jeff and Brother Ainsley said, simultaneously start putting, it takes nothing. You already have something in order. Do you need to expedite this process? Yes, because these people need housing, and we need to fix up this, this New York City. And as Brother Ainsley said, put your markers out there. Okay. In a month, we're going to have 2,500 people. In a month, we're going to have 50,000 people. Whatever you're going to do, set your sights on what you can do. It can be done. New York City is a powerful city. Stop talking about what you don't have. Put up what you do have and make the money. I'm sorry, make the money. When we went into pandemic mode, everybody got money. Everybody got money. You had to have this money somewhere. Listen, go get the money. Forget about the government. Do what you need to do and fix this problem. It can be fixed, but you gotta stop talking and you gotta start doing. So I think that they could have done something a long time ago. They haven't. All right. So Mom Donnie is who we have to, contend with right now. So listen, this is what you can do. The same way Trump had his wheels turning, so that as of the moment he stepped foot into the White House, he was able to execute all his plans. You do the same thing. You do the same thing. There's no reason why you can't get this done. But encampments is crazy. Encampments are crazy. First of all, encampments mean what? In 0 degrees. Oh my God, it's freezing. So what does that even mean? What does that even mean? All right.
I'm sorry, Pastor, but the thing is, it's just like what you said. Stop saying what you don't have. Look what they did when all these immigrants invaded us.
Right.
They had places to stay. You was giving them money. So do the same thing.
Absolutely. There's no reason why. What happened?
That's where the priority is. That's where the priority is. If you got to face something, all of a sudden, we got money.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The city government, how many times, even on a local level, I've had meetings with certain higher ups on this particular issue. It was like, we don't have the money, we don't have the budget for this. Yeah, but I'm saying, look at your budget. You spending $10 million on this, $20 million on this. Really? I thought you didn't have no money. Right. The money is there. It's like, where is the priority and stuff like that? And it goes. There's another thing to it, because New York, here's another thing. New York is tenant friendly. You have a tenant who don't pay rent, and they could be up in that apartment almost a year to try to get them out. Right. Now, I'm in Atlanta, but it's the opposite. It's more landlord friendly. You don't pay your rent the next month. It don't take that long. The next month, by the 15th, 2 months, the person is out. They'll come in, and you see people, all their stuff out on the side. When you see a whole lot of people, all furniture out on the sidewalk and stuff like that, they got evicted. It don't take no year. It's like 2 months. You're gone. You're out. And which further the homeless. Things happen.
Right.
A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, and something happen to lose their job. You can't pay your rent. In no time you're going to be out. But again, whether landlord or tenant friendly, whatever the case may be, where is the priority for those who don't have the necessary, resources to provide on their own? I think the money is there. It's about what are we going to do about it? How we go about
it? Absolutely. I agree 100%. Let me read these comments because I got a conversation that I had, and I'm having this conversation a little too often. I was like, I'll bring to my due time men. All right. So the room says they need to think about it like the tiny house villages that they've created for homeless people in the Midwest, wraparound services. Tamika says we have funds to create new parks and scenic upkeep, but no money for the homeless. All right. They built those hotels just for those immigrants in Queens all over the place. Absolutely. Again, the priority. What's your priority? My due time men, I need to pick your brains. I am having a particular conversation too often now. I had it once way back when, and I had it once a year ago. I had it once 5 months ago. I had it once 5 weeks ago. But this week in particular, I've had this conversation quite often, and I'm really wondering what you men think about this. So we're talking about the homelessness. So there's this thing with homeless shelters, housing people. So we have those who are housing families, and we have those who are in single, for single people. I'm talking, this has come up across the board. It is not just one side or the other. So it's been said that when you go into these homeless shelters, they are, of course, addressing the fact that you don't have. So they're giving you SNAP benefits. They're giving you shelter assistance. So they're transitioning you into your own apartment and things like that. But it's based on the fact that you have nothing or very little. So what's come up in conversation, not me stimulating the conversation, but now it's been brought to me and told to me, or when we've made suggestions, people have opted, once they are in the shelter system, not to get employed. There have been people who have been offered jobs, but they have said no, because if I get a job, that will mess with my SNAP benefits and that will mess with my housing. So I'm not going to take the job, or I'm not going to seek employment because I don't want that interrupted. After I get into my housing or whatever the situation is, then I will become employed and do my due diligence, I guess, to now keep it. What's your thought on that mentality and that process? I'm interested in how the men think. I haven't had this conversation with a male. I've had this conversation about men, because men have been included in this conversation also as to, and I'm talking about single men as well as a family, a single man with a child or with children who have also said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the job thing. Once I'm going to stay where I am in regards to financially situated until I'm out of the shelter system, where they've helped to launch me into doing better, and then I will pursue a job and so forth and so on. So I'm really curious as to what you men think. Again, this is single people, male and female. Again, these are single parents with children, male and female. So we're not talking about a specific gender, and we're not talking about whether you're completely single or single with children. Pastor Jeff, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think of that mentality and the plan and that plan?
Don't start with me. I need to kind of hear what these wise men.
I'm gonna lean off Brother Al for a minute. Going first, I'm gonna start with you, Brother Ainsley.
All right, I'll make sure I quite understand it. So basically, you're saying people who don't want to work, they want to get benefits but don't want to work, and all of a sudden, we're gonna try to move them into housing, and they're saying, well, then when I get my housing, that's when I'll go to work. That's basically what you're saying?
They've fallen on hard times for multiple reasons.
Right.
They've fallen on hard times for multiple reasons,
Okay.
and they are now in the shelter system. The mentality is, I'm not going to get a well-paying job. That was yesterday's conversation. That, it's like, how much is the job paying? Because the person was told, and this happens to be a male that we're talking about, that person was told from a person who's gone through the process, don't take a job, don't do anything that's going to interrupt the process of them finding you housing and them interrupting your SNAP benefits. So they're sticking to that plan and that process of, I'm not doing anything. Now, once I get out, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do, but not until then.
I understand. So how is getting a job going to hinder you getting a place? The fact is, you're in a place in the first place. I get the disconnect. How does now you getting a job? You still got working homeless. You got people who do work, my understanding, and they're in there because they can't find a place to live. They can't afford a place to live.
Remember, this is contingent. Your income or your housing placement is based on your income level. If you are at complete, I don't have any money, they're going to find you a place. But if you bring in an income, now that shifts the dynamic of them either finding you a place quicker or what you're going to have to pay when you get in. So in other words, they want a leg up to say, well, you know what? If I don't have an income now, they'll give me something and I won't have to pay a lot until I get a better job. So I'm going to hold off on getting a better job or getting an income at all until they place me. Now, once they place me, now I'll go out for the, in other words, if they give me something now, I only have to pay $50. Once I get in and I get a job, then they'll give me my rent based on my income, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what you got.
Yeah, hear you, bro.
You're breaking up, Pastor Jeff.
I said it's playing the game. That's the strategy. The city makes you do that. If you're trying to get SNAP, medical, all of that, you can't let them see that you have any means of being able to do for yourself. So how do you feel about that? That's what you got to do in order to get these housings and stuff. You got to, don't get that, hold off on that job and get locked in. I know somebody who has an apartment in Manhattan that oversees Central Park, right? And we were in California together, one of my ministers, and he put his name on the list 14 years ago, and he came back with me to New York, and his name came up, and he had just started a business. He couldn't let them know that he had that business, or he was gonna lose that place, But now that he's in, now they base it off his income, But that's what you got to do with the city in order to get these things. So how do I feel about it? Hey, it's the game that they got to play in order to get something from the city.
Okay.
Well, Pastor Jeff ain't want to go first.
Well, you was taking too long, man.
It wasn't me. See, it was me.
I had to ask a question because it wasn't making no sense to me, man.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So Pastor Jeff says, play the game. All right. What say you, Brother Ainsley? Did that make it a little more clearer for you?
Yeah, I'll keep just saying. Yeah, it's the game. There's always a game within the game or whatnot. Yeah, I get it. I get it with the game. However, I don't like the mentality and whatnot. I mean, you and me as a man, your family, or whatever your dynamic is. If you're able to work, I think you need. If you're gonna get benefits, I think it's right. Yeah, when you get benefits, and you're just gonna lay around here and you can work. I think the mentality is, you want to eat, you need to work. Period. But yeah, there is the game within the game. I don't like the mentality. It's because you're taking away from the resources that really could really go towards those who really need it. The mentality, like, well, I mean, I get it. People want to play the game, but what about the people who's disabled, who really can't work? More money has to go towards that person because they really cannot. Here you are, you can, but just trying to play a game. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times those disabled people won't go ahead and do what they're supposed to do. Because I know one right now that I'm trying to get. They get so much they could get, but they won't go get it. You understand? And they'll
Stop. Hold on. Before you go any further, I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. So, what does it mean when you say a disabled person won't go get what they are supposed to get? What does that even mean?
I know somebody that's in a wheelchair,
okay.
and they so I'm gonna do it myself when they can get an aid, they can get this, they can get that, but they won't jump on it. And then people get mad at other folks that will jump on it. There's a certain way that you have to move with the city, in order to get these things. And people say, well, that's dishonest. And if they could work, if they could do this. But here's the thing. With the city, you got to be so poor. You got to be, hungry for them to even, like Social Security. They almost wait till some of those people die before they give them their Social Security. You understand? So it's a game, I call it a game, that you got to play. And people get upset when when people play the game, but it's a strategy that in order to get these things, all right? Because regular people won't get it unless they, use these strategies. So, that's why I said, if you got somebody say, okay, I'm not going to take this job until I get this locked in, you can't blame them for it.
Yes, we can.
No, because if they take,
you telling us how to think.
Hear me out.
This is always your argument. You can't blame them. They do. No, stop telling me that.
This is what I'm saying.
Week you come here telling me, well, you can't blame them.
I am in touch.
I want to blame them. I'm gonna blame them. Stop.
Let me tell you something. I help a lot of people. Okay, and I see the struggle in them trying to get these things from the city. If you don't do things a certain way, you won't get it. And you comfortable people like yourself, Pastor Steph, don't see the point.
Pastor Jeff, hold on.
What was the last thing you said, Pastor Jeff? What?
You comfortable people like Pastor Steph don't see the point.
Listen,
in the homeless in the poor.
You understand something?
You fighting with the disabled. You fighting with the disabled. Don't fight with the disabled.
Hold on a minute. I'm kind of like, my brain is like all over the place now. One of the comments that was made during the conversation was a young lady said, listen, I understand that may be the mentality, but I can't go back. I can't go backwards. I can't see myself living on that, opposed to, like Brother Ainsley was saying, making my way if I can. It's one thing if I can't, but that stays there. But I'm having a difficulty connecting this well, the disabled can, but they won't. So no.
No, I said some. I said some. I didn't say all disabled.
Right now, I stand neutral. I have not said which way I feel, right or wrong. I'm asking, like I said, I wanted to see where the man, because I haven't had this conversation with a man, but every week you tell me I can't blame people. Yes, I can if I want to. I don't have to co-sign on anything because and last week it was where you got to understand. No, I don't have to understand anything. If that's your mentality,
well
that's your mentality. But I don't have to understand anything. No, I don't. So wait. Let's go. We still haven't gotten everybody. So Pastor Jeff, you said yes. You play the game. Brother Ainsley said, "Listen, I understand the game, but I don't like the mentality." Brother Al, where do you stand?
I'm scared to answer.
Steph go get you, man.
I'm neutral.
No, I get it. I'm just messing with it. I'm just messing with you. I stand with it, and the reason I stand with it is because, okay, here I'm homeless. I'm just putting myself in that position. I'm homeless. Okay, I'm in this place. They said, Brother Al, we gonna get you this place and stuff like that. I know if I get that job, I'm not gonna get that place. I know I'm not getting that place because the rent in New York, number one, is crazy. So now I'm getting this job. Now I got to try to look for a place. And being a landlord and seeing how that works, and these people saying, "Oh, okay, for you to get this apartment, you got to make 30 times. You got to have 30 times the amount of money that you have. Your credit score got to be this and that." Now I'm homeless. So I'm quite sure I don't have all those things. So now, once they set me into a place, and I've got this place secured, yes, I'm going to work. Now I'm in the place. They're not going to throw me out. They're going to go based on my income. So I understand that, and I agree with it. I'm sorry, but I agree with that. Because if I go get this job right now, I'm homeless again. Now I'm homeless with a job. Because you're not going to get no apartment. You're not going to get no apartment in New York. You're not. They going credit score. You got to make 30 times this. You're not getting no apartments. You know what? I'm going to be smart. Let me let them get me a place. Once I set in there, boom, it's Job City. There it is. I got a roof over my head.
Oh, you shut up, Pastor Jeff. You shut up. You shut up big time, Pastor Jeff. For the record, Pastor Kale, you better not side with Pastor Jeff.
Yeah, Kale. Speak your mind, Kale.
What say you, bro? What say you, man?
Do your Fifth Amendment.
Well, listen. Let me say this, because I see this more than most of the men on the panel. So while I understand it, I know it's a game for a lot of the people. A lot of the people are just there just to get the housing, and it's almost like you get in trouble and you say, "God, if you just get me out of this, I won't lie anymore." You lied when you made the promise to God. When these folks get into their situations and their houses and stuff like that, and the people are paying for their house and you paying $50, they're not looking for no job. What they're doing is so housing and EBT and Section 8, they tell you have to apply for a job. So they're going to apply and say that I've applied, I just could not get a job. If they are living for free, listen, that's what they're doing. I see this every day, all day. So they get in there, and a lot of folks, they get in there because they can't live with mama no more. Their daddy getting on their nerves, and they go into the shelter figuring that the shelter would give them a place to live. So it's not that I don't want a job because it might hurt me. I'm not going to get a job. There's no need for me to get a job if you're paying for my food, if you're paying for my living, if you're paying for the children, and then not to mention you get a stipend every month for your power bill. Why would I? Now, me personally, I couldn't do it. But look at it from the larger point of these folks who are having 50 kids for no reason, and the man is after they get the place. So remember, it's not the family, it's not the male and female together. So after they get into the place, they move in the boyfriend. No, they not getting no job. It's the racket.
You generalize.
Here's another thing too, along with that, right? From a landlord point of view, right? And I mean, but people don't want to realize it. All right, I got a couple of apartments. All right, yeah, I can get Section 8 and whatnot. The person, if I was going to accept somebody, like Section 8 or something like that, I would want somebody who has to pay more responsibility into it, because I'm going to not. I'd rather get somebody who got to pay $200 a month as opposed to somebody who's going to pay $50 a month. For one, because they got to work. They're showing more signs of responsibility and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because you get people who are only paying $25 a month. As a landlord, they tear your place apart and whatnot, because they won't care about it. The mentality. I want somebody who's more progressive minded, somebody who cares, who wants more in life, as opposed to somebody who's just going to lay around and mess up the place.
Sir, I disagree with you. I was a property manager for 5 years, and all we did was Section 8. And that owner only cared about his first month rent, security. Automatically, the money came in. He didn't have to chase the tenant. He went because the city paid him. So at that point, all he saw was dollar signs. And he understood that when they got out, he'll have to fix it up again. But these folks don't care about, we want you to be career-minded. They just want their money. I don't care if if you want to be a doctor when you grow up. I want my money today.
Want my money?
Well, here's my thing. I look at, if I'm looking at it from Ainsley's perspective, having been a landlord for 31 years, my concern would be, okay, so I have a person who's coming. So if I understood, if I played a game like Pastor Jeff tells me, and I understand the plight of this issue, if I have money, I don't get the housing. If I have the money, if I don't have the money, I get the housing. But if I have the money, I won't get the housing. As with Brother Al, if I take that mentality and I understand it the way Pastor Jeff always tries to force me to think. I'm tired of being bullied by Pastor Jeff, by the way, y'all. I'm always being bullied by Pastor Jeff. As a landlord, that becomes a concern to me. If I'm about to take you in as a tenant, I am not taking a tenant that does not have a job. I'm not taking it. And I'm going to be honest, I was very surprised, Brother Al, that you said it, because you and I have both spoken on this panel all these years about being a tenant, taking in people who don't work. So if you are don't misunderstand me. If you may be playing this game and your intent is to get a job, right? Now you go through the process and you get the job. That's gravy for all of us, because now you have a job. You're not in my house all day running up my utilities. You're active. You're not sitting around, because I don't want to see that whether I'm a landlord or not. I don't want to see people who just sit around. But now I run the risk of bringing in a person who does not have a job. Now, what happens when you get in there and now you don't have a job, and now what am I facing as a landlord? Am I facing now a person who's going to be in the house all day, especially if they have children? Because when it's cold, I'm not expecting people with kids to be outside. I'm not expecting, because I also hear from the opposite side, several people have told me that they could not get child care because they didn't have a job. This is how crazy this whole situation is. So now they can't get a job because they don't have babysitter, but they can't get babysitting because they don't have a job. So now they're caught between that web. So where does that leave me as a landlord? Now, do I seem insensitive because I don't want this here in my home? And now when I need to try to get you out, Now I'm gonna go through 9 years of trying to get to. That's a risk as a landlord. I'm not trying to take. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be very honest. Pastor
Let me ask
KL
you,
says
have
that
you
the
ever-
landlords are not caring. As a landlord, I don't care. I don't want it. I want somebody who's
Got a couple
already
people because of that
working.
situation now. They're having a hard time because of that same situation. I mean, are we talking about, okay, if we talking about like you got like a few apartments, or, you know, a few apartments, or you talking like you got like major buildings, you know what I'm saying? Most people I know they got more small, you know, a 2, 3, 4 housing and stuff like that. They're not talking about a 40 apartment building and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, so it's like the mentality is like whatever. But when you more on a smaller scale, if you will, you know, you do care about your property and stuff like that. You kind of care about who's going in, the whole situation. It's not about the dollar. You want to know, you know, you're more concerned about the value. You know, you don't want the property value to go down. You don't want to deal with the riffraff, so to speak.
Well, let me just clear this up because I'm not sure if people misunderstood me. So I'm not saying if you have somebody from the outside, Joe Schmo, who's looking to rent your place, yeah, you got to have a job. What I'm saying is that if this person comes with a voucher saying that I'm paying you $1,600 a month from the city, he don't care whether you have a job because he's going to get paid.
Money
That's what I'm saying.
I care as a landlord. I care. I don't care how much your voucher is. I don't want anybody who's not working. But see, again, I'm coming from two different sides. I'm coming from just a Stephanie side, and I'm coming from a landlord side. I personally I like to see people who are about something, who's living, who's doing something, who's productive. I'm not going to, because when I was your age, I was productive. I'm not going to watch anybody sit around doing nothing. And that has nothing to do with how I think about you as an individual. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want to be nobody. I want to sit around.
Whether you do or whether, I've had people literally say to me over the years, well, I'm on a break. I've been working for 5 years straight. It's time for me to take a break. And they haven't lived with me. This is just conversation. And I'm like, wow, wouldn't that be nice? Just chill and say, I'm gonna take a break because I worked for 5 years. I worked for 30. I took a break because I couldn't work. I'm not getting it.
You know, Pastor, one of the things is, as being a landlord, people don't know. And first of all, every state has different rules. Now, as being a landlord, you have a choice. Like when I rent the Section 8, like Pastor Kel said, your money is secure. Just like when COVID went down, and I was telling people that they should do Section 8, I'm not doing Section 8, and then they couldn't pay rent because of COVID. My tenant, I was getting my money, but I made a request, right? I went through a real estate agent. I made a request. I want working Section 8. I'm like you. I don't want nobody just, okay, you get money, you just sitting around doing nothing. No, I want working Section 8. And I also was involved. A lot of people who do this, okay, you're a real estate investor, just give me some Section 8 tenant that's paying this and that. I met with my tenant. I had conversation with them. I did background check. You know, I did all the things. And these people were working, but they were working and they had Section 8. You know what I'm saying? So that was different. I made sure because I didn't want nobody just sitting around either. So you can request that.
Okay. So did I hear from Pastor KL? He gave us a landlord thing. But what did you say, Pastor KL, in regards to your mentality? How do you feel about that mentality? Did you say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said he disagreed.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I thought that's what you started off with, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Like I said, this has been coming up a lot, quite often in conversation. And like I said, I was having a conversation with one young lady, and she was like, listen, I get where they're going with it because, you know, you got to be pretty much strapped in order to move out and move up. But I can't go backwards. I gotta work. I'm just gonna have to, do what I gotta do on the opposite side, to make it happen. And it seems to be, that's the thing.
Sometimes they put people.
Who's talking?
Yeah, sometimes they put people in predicament. I give you a perfect example, right? Every Sunday after church, me and Tamika go out and we feed homeless. There was a lady that was out there that was pregnant. She was in her apartment. She begged them, hey, I'm going through this. Father left. I'm by myself, this and that. They would not help this woman. This woman was out on the street in the cold, living in a tent. And they actually had to come. They actually came out and seen her living on the street. And then they gave her a place. It shouldn't have to be like that. You shouldn't even have to play this game. They put people in predicament to play this game. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to go through that.
So wait, are you saying that they did not? What didn't they do before they came out?
They wouldn't give her a place because she was trying to find a place. She didn't make enough money to afford a place, and she went to them for help. Hey, listen, I need some help. I'm working. I can't afford an apartment right now. They would not help her until where she was at, that she couldn't pay the rent, and so now she's on the street pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And I feel so bad for the lady. She was on the street pregnant. When they actually came out and said, wow, she really is on the street. Now they put her in a place. Why you couldn't help her from the beginning before it got to that point?
Absolutely. But as always, you have the bad that make it bad for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the concept of you can only get a place if you are at zero or at poverty level. I don't agree with you can't get SNAP benefits or medical benefits unless you're at the poverty level if you're in the system. Because we know that you can get SNAP benefits or you can get medical benefits if you fall within the income guidelines. But if you're in the system, the shelter system, for some reason it seems like they're making you go to the bottom of the barrel in order to. But I want to personally hear more in regard. I would love to be on the inside because it can't be no one size fits all. I'm having a hard time believing that, where it's just this is everybody's option. I'm having a hard time, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just need to hear more personally where, so I'm hoping that, it's not where they really making people, get this movie. That's all I'm hearing. And like I said, this was a young man, and we were like, well, there's a job. There are jobs out there. We could get somebody saying that they could put him on, they can help him get a job. And the response was, well, he said that there's a guy he knows who went through the entire process. He's not going to take the job until he actually gets out and then up and running. And I was like, whoa, again, but this was an option. This is optional. So, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Hearing this, I was like, what? I haven't spoken to the men about this, but it didn't click until we talked. I saw this thing last night and I was talking to you guys today. I had completely forgotten about it until this came up today with Mom Donnie and the homeless situation. So prayers up. Guys, you've been great as always, sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you so very much for your contribution today.
All right.
And Pastor Jeff, stop holding a gun to my head, making me do it.
You and Pastor Jeff, stop this fighting.
Stop forcing me.
We can't hear you, Pastor Jeff. We can't hear you.
Trying to get me to change my opinion. You the bully.
Wait, what'd you say?
You're trying to get me to change my opinion and my thoughts. You're the bully.
No, absolutely not. I don't. Whatever you guys say is what you guys say. I don't have a problem with you always saying to me, "Well, you can't blame them, Pastor Steph." Yes, I can. Stop telling me what I can think. If you want to have
You can't
your
blame
heart,
me
then
for
go ahead
being
and have
me.
your heart. Huh?
You can't
What?
blame me for being me.
Pastor
And you
Jeff,
know what? You're right. You're absolutely
Pastor,
right, Pastor.
Yes.
Pastor Jeff, she has a handicap sticker. She has rights.
I got one of those too.
Round one.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful
All right.
weekend.
Have a good weekend,
All
everybody.
right.
Peace out.
Look at Brother Al. All right. Where is, you know what? Let me get rid of these people. Where is my,
Keep me on. I'm gonna keep talking.
she is like so fired.
I went to the restroom.
She is so fired. Oh my goodness gracious. She is so fired. This is she's fired. I'm firing my help. All righty. It's just me and you now. Oh boy, what a predicament to be in. You know, to be in a homeless, you know, starting with the encampment, you know, to be in a homeless situation, you get yourself, you know, some level of tent, whether it's a board, a cardboard box, you know, whether it's a regular tent, and you now are being removed from the street by, let's say, the administration, from the mayor, you know. And then you have now Mom Donnie coming in and saying, listen, I my heart goes out to these people. I cannot wipe them out of where they have set up to live. You know, it pulls on the strings of your heart, because like, what do you do? Where do you go? You know, again, you know, to set up housing is one thing. If you worked around the clock and you set up housing, that's one thing. But again, we're not going to just pick up all the people in the encampment and put them in the housing. That's still a whole entire process as to who you're going to put in there, who you're going to put in there first, and what credentials do they have? Do they have credentials? Because they're homeless. Boy, is this a mess that I am so glad I am not responsible for, because this is going to take some real merging of the minds and merging of the resources. So in other words, you're going to have to get someone who focuses on contractors. You're going to have to get someone who's focusing on making sure that there are no shortcuts taken in their housing, so that people are living safely. You're going to have to make sure that you have the people that are going to go through this paperwork. This is hard. This is hard. This is a hard process. Now, we talk about those who have had to fall into the system or have opted, because there are some people who have, this is a plan for them to go into the shelter system. So either way, you're in the shelter system, whether you're single, because again, the gentleman we were talking about yesterday was a single guy. And you know, he's going with what people are telling him, you know, go through this process or whatever. And on the flip side, like I said, you know, I'm on the phone with the young lady. She was like, you know, Pastor Steph, I can't go backwards. You know, I've been there, and I cannot go backwards in order just to seek housing. I'd rather go from the opposite side of it. And, you know, there's Pastor Jeff and Brother Al who say, hey, you know, listen, it's a game, and the city forces you to play a game. And, you know, what else do people do? I am at the point in my personal life where, thank God I'm not homeless. I could have been, There were times when I easily could have been homeless, and I've been a mom since I was 18. So if I was homeless, I was always in a predicament of me and, not that the single individual where I only had to work or worry about Stephanie. I've always had, a child from when I was younger, and I've struggled. I've struggled to make it work. Almost was homeless, but trusting God and doing what I needed to do and making some hard decisions, God pulled me through. And, a second ago, I was about to say, I'm just at the point in my life where I have to trust God. In this world, it is very difficult to make that decision. And I can easily see how people can go the route. I can easily see. And I always say to people, just because I don't agree does not mean I don't understand. I'm with the young lady who says, I can't go backwards. For me, as a disabled person, I'm sitting on another side either who's not eligible for anything. I'm not eligible. Just yesterday, I have to renew my health insurance. And I get Medicare because I am officially disabled. But I have to fight for that. It's not easy just getting, and I worked for mine, and I don't walk through the door. I had to really fight for what I get. I don't get it easily. And one of the things is you still have to pay a portion of the bill. And I'm paying a mortgage. I can't always pay a portion of the bill. I have to incrementally pay bills, medical bills. And as a sick person, I always got a medical bill laying around somewhere. What you call a bill? An ambulance bill. So I don't even get that for free. I don't get that for free. If an ambulance comes here to take Pastor Steph somewhere, I eat a bill. And because I get a certain amount in Social Security benefits, I'm not eligible for a supplemental benefit, which means that if whatever portion I have to pay, some of us who get Social Security, either retirement or disability, you have to pay, like I said, you have to pay a portion. But some of us, if our income from Social Security is low enough, we can qualify for, let's say, Medicaid or another supplemental income that would help you pay the portion of your bill. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I eat a mortgage. I'm not paying rent. I eat a mortgage. So I get it. I surely get the mentality of, listen, I have to do it this way because I need to be able to my come up, and I gotta do, but I cannot. I'm just at the point in my personal life where that's not an option. That is not that has never been an option for me. I'm not beating anybody up who that option is for. I'm not beating you up. I just can't. I can't. I'm not in that situation. But what I can say is I have to trust God. And when I say trust God, Stephanie is at a point where I'm trusting God all the way. So again, putting it back in my own seat, hey, I'm going to, whatever I have to do, I'm getting bills. I just got my eyes done. As y'all saw, if y'all been watching Pastor Steph, I struggled for a whole year and it got worse. And now after that, again, my health coverage only covered a portion of that bill. So both eyes done, I got both bills for 2 eyes. And I gotta just trust God. I have to. That takes growth. That takes faith. That takes just having a closer relationship with God. That has gotten me to that point. And my prayer is that for those who are in this situation where they have to make decisions such as, okay, I'm in the shelter system by default. I'm not talking about those who put themselves there. I'm talking about by default. I've lost a home, lost a job, whatever the situation is. That when they say to me, well, hey, there's people hiring over here. I'm not saying, well, you know what, I'm not going to take an income because in order to get up out of here, that's not for me. But if it's for them, my prayer is that you learn to trust God. We have a lot to build our faith on. That's a growth. That's a growth. And this is why I said I can't beat a person up, because I understand that the only reason why I'm here at this point is because I trust God. Was this 20 years ago? I don't know. If I said I was going to do it, I wouldn't do it. I'm just going with who I've always been, and it's never been an option for me. And there was a point where I couldn't walk. I literally could not walk. And I was at the mercy of, now I can't pay rent. But I didn't know anything about really trusting God at that point. My life was not where it is now. But I guess subconsciously, I was trusting God without even realizing it. It was like, okay, build yourself back up. Get yourself walking again, literally walking again. I literally had to walk again. At one point I was sliding around on a pillow because I couldn't walk. Could not walk. So again, it's all a growing process. So my consistent prayer is for those who are in this situation, that your faith in God grows, that He would help you to stand on, you know what? I'm not going to lean on the system because that's what they're forcing you to do. Because that was the way it was seen. They force you to do that. No one forces you to do anything, to be honest with you. Nobody forces you to do a thing. No. Trust God. You have to put your head in whether, what is forced? Is it a mentality of the world and I don't trust God, or I'm really forced to do something? It's almost like when a person goes in the store and they say, well, listen, I had to steal this meat because I couldn't eat. And in actuality, you weren't really forced to go that route because you could have asked, but because your pride prevents you from asking, because they've either asked enough or, me and my family, we're going to eat by any means necessary. There's a difference. And when we are at a certain point in our lives, it's very hard to see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So, I get it. I get that there are some people who feel like, you know what, I have no other alternative. My prayer today, as always, is, I always close with, find God. Once you do that, your mentality will shift. When you put your full trust in God, your mentality shifts. It really does. I know it's very hard to see it when you're not there, but I'm looking at the then and I'm looking at the now, and I see. I have a group of young people who I minister to each week. My congregation is full of young people, and my whole presentation to them on a regular basis is trust God. I don't care how it looks. Trust God. I have never, ever, 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 ever been in a situation. And when I tell you the stuff that I'm hearing now, trust me, you ain't been behind the 8 ball like I've been. Trust me. I have put my hand in the palm of God's hand, and He has brought me out every time. I'm hearing people, I got rent. I owe $3,000 in rent, and they're panicking. Try 100,000. Try it. 2,000, 100,000. And if we don't try God, and that's the one thing I stand behind, if I don't try God now, I will never try God. Because let me tell you something, the enemy is going to ensure that it becomes worse. It is going to get harder. So if you don't trust God at level 1, it's going to be hard as hell to trust God at level 12. You have got to learn to trust God at some point. So maybe that's another reason why I don't lean to when Pastor Jeff says to me all the time, you know, you got to understand them. No, because I've come from a place where my life has been on the line. I have laid on the bed 3 times and somebody said, you ain't got no business being here. Whatever we need to do in a matter of minutes. And I'm here talking to you right now because I trusted God. And as they were pushing me in the operating room, I was smiling, I was talking, and I have been asked several times, how in the world do you, like, it's like nothing to you to be. I said, listen, whatever I'm gonna meet on the other end of that operating room, if God decides to close my eyes, now ain't the time to be panicking. Because I ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. I don't want to hear nothing about no Hezekiah prayed. No. That may not be for me. That last 5 minutes may not be for me. I'm not jumping to my God, I'm going to accept you as my personal savior. No. What I tell people is my life needs to be lived right now so that when the time comes and the doctor tells me we got to get you in that operating room, or either you're not going to be living, I'm just going to look to God and say, you know what, God, it's me and you right now. You're going to take control of these doctors and the medication and the machinery and everything else. But I have given my life to you as best I know how. And I'm trusting God that is good enough. That's my prayer before I go into the operating room, which is why several people have said, well, you're surely smiling. It's not because I'm not concerned, but I'm not worried. I can't do nothing about it. But I go to God as they wheeling me in. Before they tell me count backwards, I'm saying, God, it's you and I. My life that I have lived up to this point, and what you decide to do with me, I would pray that you have me come out on the other side of this. I'm trusting you for that. But if your decision is other than that, I pray that my life has been lived so that you let me enter into your kingdom. I ain't going to be like, oh God, please forgive me for, smacking Shantice, and forgive me for, running around the block. No, I don't have no time for that. When I was faced with $100,000 debt, you know what I said? God, this is on you because I ain't got the money to pay this bill. So for somebody worrying about $2,000 of rent, or somebody worrying about they can't get about the shelter system because they ain't got, if they get a job. See, I can't worry about that because I didn't worry about greater things. And ain't nothing worse than worrying about your health, your life and death, or worrying about if you're going to lose your house at a rate that you cannot come back from. There was no way in the world I was going to get $100,000 in my pocket. I don't play lottery. I ain't got nobody who I know who would leave me and then I would inherit some money. It ain't happening. But it was for my faith level. My faith level. But I understand that if I did not try God, then maybe my faith would not be here. If I decided to make moves that God would not have been happy with, because I'm like, listen, I got to do what I got to do. I got to come up with this 100,000. So listen, if I got to go do this, I got to do that. God will understand. That's not faith. So you're talking to a person, you're listening, and you're getting. I'm telling you that I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but my prayer is that you utilize everything that God is doing with you, for you, and about you to build your strength. Because let me tell you something, if you think this is a challenge, this is only the beginning. Because you can get the apartment for free. The challenge is, can you keep the apartment? The challenge is when you run up into a landlord that's a slumlord because you didn't know that up front. And now there's other things that you're faced with. So this is just the beginning. If you don't allow God to help you build your faith right now, what's going to happen when other things come up? Are you going to panic each and every time when you are up against these challenges that are so large, that you can't see yourself out of. So therefore, as Pastor Jeff always tells me, you can't blame him, Pastor Steph. Yes, I can, if I choose to. Because there's always another way. And let me say something to you as I close. If you have not opted to go God's way, then you have not opted every way. You have not considered every way. When you close down the option of God, then you shut yourself down for where you could go. That's the message that we should be sending as people of God. Don't let this world ever make you believe that you can't. Don't ever let this world make you believe that the options that they give you are the only options available to you. And that, in my opinion, is the mentality when someone tells me you can't blame them. If I haven't said to God, God, what do you want from me? Do you want me to go this route? And I mean, really, I'm not talking about, yeah, well, you know, God want me to go this route because I ain't got no other options. No. I'm talking about really putting God to the test. Really putting God to the test. Because what the world offers you, what this city and this, you know, your situation offers you, that ain't God. That's what this city, that's what this world has put you in. But how does God want you to maneuver? Now, I can't say that God didn't tell you, well, listen, I'm going to make this route for you. I can't tell you that. But what I can say is, if you have not sought God, then you could very well be opting for lower when God has higher for you. And we don't know when God has higher for us until we put God to the test. Ooh. We don't know what God has for us when we have not really put everything in the hands of God. Are we doing everything? Ooh, that's the other question. Are we doing everything we're supposed to do so that we don't have those options? Oh, whoa. See, this is why I can't be told you can't blame them. Because see, I serve a God that says, I will have a mansion for you here in heaven. Your treasures are here with me in heaven. So you want me to send my blessings down to you? You got to live the way I want you to live. See, I'm not about to sidestep God to deal with this world, because that's what we're doing. A lot of times that's what's happening. We don't have options because we haven't opted for God. So yes, I can blame you if you have not opted for God. That's why I can say, stop telling me, or you have to understand, no, I do not. I understand who God is. Do I have to understand people who don't know God, who refuse God, who now feel they're in certain situations? Yep, I do. I have to understand, because I understand that you didn't just close down your options. So my suggestion to you is to open up your options, because nobody wants to be at the hands of that. Even when people have said, you know what, I'm going for zero, I'm not going to get no job because I'm going to stick here because this is the way I'm going to get out of this predicament. I'm sure that's not something that you want to do. They want to do. But open up your options. The first thing I admonish you to do is to go to God and ask him, God, what do you have for me? Now, here's the thing. Stop asking only what God has for you in regards to what he has to give for you, opposed to, God, what do you have for me? In other words, also saying, what do you have for me to do for you? Because see, my journey is not the next person's journey. It's not. We have to go to God for what God has for us. And my journey has not called for me to make moves outside of what God has told me to do. Period. At all. So I want to help you. I want to help you understand that there are options that are greater than the ones you're looking at. With God, it's always a possibility. With God, there is nothing impossible. And that's what we have to really keep in mind. And that's why I'm always the last voice you hear. No matter what is put on that floor, I am encouraging you that I understand. I do. As a single mother of 3, holding down a mortgage for 31 years, walking into Social Security, disability, having a mortgage over my head, I understand. Trust me, I understand. Not having a father in the mix, I understand. I get it. But what I love is that I have been moved by God to say yes. He kept knocking on my door till I said yes, before it was too late. And that's what he's doing with you right now. Why do you think you in front of Pastor Steph and Pastor Steph is in front of you all these times? Because he's knocking at your door. But I also understood that God was not going to continue to knock. So trust me, God ain't going to continue to knock. He says, remember, if you ignore me, I take my hands off. We don't want him to do that. Because now you left with options like the one we just got finished talking about. So don't make yourself optionless or limit your options. You want to be open up to a world of opportunity where you can actually get that job as well as get that housing. Yet you won't need benefits. I ain't got to lean on this world. Do you know how, oh my God, how grateful I was when they closed down them SNAP benefits that I wasn't worried. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about moving into a position of life where that is what you, I ain't worried. My prayer was for everybody who was getting this SNAP benefit, and I understand what it is when your money gets tight and oh my God, my source of food is going to be cut down. But I was so grateful to God that I was in a position where I didn't have to worry about it. That there, I don't want to be at the mercy of anybody, but because I know as long as I live my life right, I can call on him and he will deliver me from anything. But the contingency is I must live right. Can you say the same? Does not mean perfection. Remember, I always tell you that living right does not mean living perfectly. But living a life that is acceptable to God, that no matter when you call on his name, he will rescue you. And I have to tell you, I just turned 59 last year. God has never let me down. Has never, ever, ever let me down. Especially during the time when after I really gave my life to him. And I was like, I ain't taking nothing before I grab onto God. That's when I really started seeing God come through. So you want to make sure that this is something that you grab onto. Because as long as you hold on to God and do what he gives you to do, you won't ever have to worry about a thing. You were watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, we're children. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew, the men, for always coming through big time and sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us and keeping that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity to give your life to Christ right now and open up a world of opportunities and options. Please do not miss your opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to any of us. Until Sunday, when the Word Project Prayer Room is open. I got my glasses, y'all. I can read the prayer request. Until then, God spares. I love you.